Battle royales have only been around for a handful of years, and for the most part they have strictly stuck within the same genre of games. Whether you are playing Warzone, Fortnite or Apex Legends, you are always shooting a gun and running from an entrancing circle. For Guys, Ultimate Knockout, an extremely colorful and whimsical battle royale, is a great example of the genre growing outside of its roots. It is a far more approachable take on the multiplayer format, with simple controls and a variety of mini-games, giving the competitive game show as much charm as they do tension. Playing as one of 16 multicolored jelly bean-shaped constants, you compete in joyous and comical race to be crowned the winner of each of 4 Guys 15-minute games. Each one is broken up by various mini-games with handfuls of players eliminated. After each one, these games all take on a variety of themes, from straightforward obstacle race courses, frantic team games where you are hoarding as many eggs as you can into a basket. Each one makes good use of Fall Guys' easy to understand controls scheme, which lets you jump, dive and grab with easy. The pick up and play nature of Fall Guys is one of its strongest aspects. Along with its quick and entertaining games, it's never unclear when you need to jump over a gap or navigate through the hardest of constants trying to reach the finish line before you. It's appreciable to let anyone have some fun with it, while it is stage bring out glimmers of strategy for seasoned players to take advantage of, with 2,000 types of stages in rotation. For Guys features a lot of variety to each of its matches. Also, you will encounter a race to kick off each game. Each one is presented with different obstacles and elements that make them feel distinct from each other. The writing, for example, is one of the longest you will encounter, featuring spring fans and numerous platforms with rotating hazards ready to knock you off course. By contrast, Dodge Rush is a much shorter race filled with rows of closed doors with a random few opening once players have diving through them. The hunt for single routes through each stage of doors create heroes bottlenecks, so doorways not equipped with the stress, sending players tumbling to the floor as the group attempts to stampede to the end. It is ridiculous but equally heroes every time. Other survival-based modes are equally frantic and stressful rollout. For example, puts all players on a string of 14 platforms with random walls, obstacles and gaps thrown in as they spin around, moving between each platform while avoiding the hordes of other players. Trying to do the same is as comical as it is strategic. The survival modes don't require the most dexterous platforming, generally ending well before things speed up to an uncomfortable pace, but the way they force all players to get uncomfortably close to one another, and so random chaos is extremely effective. If you have ever watched Wipeout or Takeshi's Castle, you will recognize the slapstick nature to each stage and appreciate the care given to balance elements of luck and skill, with only a handful missing this mark. Tail tag gives some players tails and task everyone else with hunting them down and yanking it off for themselves. It is a fun game of tag on paper, but with each player moving the same speed and the distance required to latch on, and still a tail being so small, it quickly becomes frustrating. Run around, it is even worse when used as the match type for the final stage, where the only player at the end with a tail wins the whole thing. This stage is too large for the handful of players left in the game, giving an unfair advantage to the one that happens to start with the tail. Not all of the finals in Fall Guys faces these issues, however, with 2 standing out. Hexagon is a narrow working platforming test where the ground disappears beneath you as you run over it. It is game where you are rewarded for staying on each level of platforms for as long as possible, either by making smart jump across gaps made by other players or navigating intelligently around each level to stay above the pit of slime below. similar jump showdown. Puts all players on a single platform with two sharpened beams. They move at different speeds, forcing you to continue moving and time your jumps so that you are not caught out when both beams line up. Both modes involve a level of skill that makes them more suitable for determining the overall winner of each game. You will frequently be thrown into team-based modes to which can either glide or dishearten based on who you are paired up with. A race to get a giant ball, so an obstacle course can become a test of patience when just one or two teammates are not pulling their weight, while Rocket League-style games of oversized football can feel extremely one-sided for the same reasons. These are not faults of the game modes themselves, most capture the same goofy fun of the solo ones, but when your entire team is eliminated thanks to just one or two players, it does take some of the excitement out of immediately jumping into another game. With its short games and easy to grasp mechanics for guys, is easily the most approachable and welcoming battle royale. Yet its bursting color and varied games modes do a good job of filling in and keeping you hooked even if a handful feel at odds with the easygoing nature of its premise. It can be disheartening to have a game end prematurely due to uneven team matches, and worse still when you are forced into one of four guys. Unsatisfying final modes, but neither are enough to delay the fun Fall Guys constantly generates with its chaotic obstacle courses and earworm soundtrack. And Shine, you will be coming back. Please like this video and subscribe